Hey there, friends. Today, we're going shopping. Now, you guys know my girl's only a year old, and I'm keeping her forever, so I'm not shopping for me. I went shopping for my husband. That's right, guys. He's upgrading to an Indian. Hey there, welcome to Indian Motorcycle Radio. I am your host, Teresa Uncaged. Let's go for a ride. All right, guys. So for those of you that follow Indian Motorcycle Radio on Facebook, you'll see that Ken, who was the previous host, Ken finally got his dream bike. He's been dreaming of getting this motorcycle forever. And he finally got that gorgeous red Indian Challenger that he's been wanting. And I am so happy for him to finally be living his dream. And actually, let me backtrack just a little bit. So in a previous episode, episode 37, I broke down some Indian Scout information while I was recording some of the information. My husband was listening, and it kind of piqued his interest. So we talked about the Scouts, and I had been trying to get him to trade up to a chief for months. But really, that was like for my own selfish reasons because I really want the chief. But anyway, so I was telling him about, that I was so excited for Ken after we talked about the Scouts and how Ken finally gets to live his dream and he's got this motorcycle and how he had a Harley before and all this other stuff. And I was telling him about, of course, my rants that I start to go on about Indian Motorcycle brand and how much I love it and the chief and the FTR and blah, 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 blah. He's heard me say the same things like a million times before. But the difference this time, I talked about the Scout. He was kind of interested. I talked about how excited I was for Ken and how happy Ken was. And he was more interested. And this time he finally said, you know what, let's go look at the dealership this weekend. And be still my heart, are you serious? Was literally my reaction. And of course I was so excited. So on my day off on Friday, I took my two youngest kids. I was like, hey, let's get a jump on this, search. And I just want to go and sit on a bunch of motorcycles and see, what I love, what feels good. So we went to the closest dealership just to look. And of course sit, and of course dream, because I need a bigger garage, or I need a garage, and then a bigger one. And so we sat on everything. My son and I, we sat on the Chief, we sat on the FTR, we sat on the Chieftains, and the Roadmasters. And then we went in the other showroom and sat on a couple other things for fun. But my son, who's new to both riding and driving, so watch out, y'all. He loves the Chieftain, which was so funny because I kept kind of pinging back and forth. Obviously, I'm in love with the Chief because I've been talking about it for a little while. But I've kind of been pinging back and forth like, the Chief is kind of similar to the Scout. It's just upgraded and bigger. The FTR is more of a sporty style bike. And the Chieftain, bigger. You guys know from my beggar rant a few weeks ago that they're on my radar now. I just need one of everything. That's what it is. I just need one of everything. But yeah, that Chieftain is just kind of working its way into my heart every time I go and I see it. I'm like, I want to sit on that one. That one's comfy. It feels good. I like it. So after my son and I, we did this little window shopping where we were dreaming and laughing and joking about owning all these motorcycles. We came home and he told Dad all about it. And then the next day was shopping day. Okay, so it's shopping day now. And we get up and he's like, all right, we're going to go to the dealership. And I was like, whoa. I got to work out first. So I do my yoga. And he's like, are you ready yet? I was like, what? He's like, are you ready yet? I was like, no, I just finished yoga. Give me a minute. And guys, when I tell you, he doesn't like to shop. He's a guy. He hates to shop. He doesn't like to shop for anything. And I feel like it's like pulling teeth to try to get him to go to the dealership to even just look at the motorcycles. Like, even with the Chief, months ago, he's like, yeah, I'll trade up to the Chief. Sure. You go look at it for me. You go test ride it for me. I'm like, dude, I could test ride it and I could love it, but you could hate it. You got to do it. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. He didn't care, right? So the fact that he was so excited to go, it floored me. It blew my mind. I was so excited that he was excited. But at the same time, I had like this whole morning routine I had to get done. So anyway, we get out and we're getting ready to leave. And I'm like, okay, so where are we going? And he's like, oh, okay, well, let me look at the inventory to see what's at each dealership. And I thought he'd already done that. He's like, well, I think this one dealership has it. So we rode out there. And it was we took the long way because he drove and I rode my motorcycle because I ride everywhere and I'm a crazy person like that. But we get out there and there's an event going on, which was really cool because we got to see all kinds of new motorcycles. And we get there and they have some great bikes. They had a couple of Scouts. They had a couple of Chiefs. They had everything except the one Scout that he really wanted to see. He really wanted to see the Scout 20 in comparison to the Chief. And I was trying to tell him, I'm like, the Scouts are all pretty much the same. Like when you sit on them, it's just got higher bars. You know, we talked about this in the previous episode. And it's got the different wheels. So, I mean, really everything else is kind of the same. So sit on a Scout. Imagine the bars are taller and it's kind of the same thing. And it wasn't like working for him. He couldn't imagine it. He was getting upset with it. And I was like, well, sit on the Chief. Like, you're going to love the Chief. You are. And he liked the Chief, but he didn't love it. And I could not wrap my head around why. I'm like, I don't understand. It's just a little bit bigger than the Scout. Like, it should fit you better. He's like, I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't like it. So then for fun, we sat on a couple of the baggers and, you know, I got him to get on an FTR, which he thinks is ridiculous. And he thinks I'm ridiculous for trying to ride one because I'm kind of short. I'm only 5'4". But I know people shorter than me ride those, so it's possible. So then we decided we're going to head to the local dealer, which is even closer, which is where I do all of my Indian Motorcycle Riding Group meetings at. So I know some of the people there. I know a lot of the people there a little bit better. And that's where I took my kids the previous day. So we go down there and we had just walked in and off. So like we walk into the showroom and off to the side, there's like this, I guess it's dead space. It's where they put their sold bikes that don't need to be worked on or anything. They're just waiting for the new owners to come and pick them up. And sometimes they're marked as sold and sometimes they're not quite marked as sold because they just came in inventory and they're getting ready to go out on the showroom floor. So I don't really know what that space is called, but we look over and in that dead space, there was a couple bikes and he noticed that there was a Scout over there. And we went and checked it out. I'm like, oh yeah, this one's sold. And he goes, well, what is it? I'm like, well, that's the Scout 20. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the Scout 20. That's the one that you wanted that I've never seen in a dealership because they are never at the dealership. So we called Melissa over, who was the woman that I had been talking to previously about trading in his old Harley for the new Chief. So she already knew what we were looking for. So she came right over. She had her Chief pamphlet ready to go. And there was a red Chief there. So she's like, yeah, that one's sold. But she knew that I had been talking about the Chief. So she was talking to him about that. And he was like, yeah, I really like the Scout. And so the owner of the Scout happened to just come in to finalize everything and pick up the bike. So he was super nice and let my husband sit on his new motorcycle, and that was it. Done deal. He's getting the Scout 20. He's decided. So they walk around, they go talk to the parts guy, and he's like, all right, I want the Scout, and this is what I want on it, and these are all the details, and they built it up, and it was really, really exciting and heartbreaking all at the same time because I could not get this man to go shopping for anything for months and months and months. And now he walks in and he knows what he wants. He is on top of it, and it's not what I want. And I know that's so selfish. I should be so happy that he's getting what he wants. And I actually am. I'm really, really happy that he fell in love with this motorcycle, and he's really, really happy. And he's getting it customized just for him. But at the same time, I was like, man, I really wanted you to trade up to that Chief so that I could barter and ride the Chief to work every once in a while. But whatever. It is what it is. So, yeah, we went shopping, and we have to take the old bike in and get the appraisal for the trade. And we will now own, instead of 2 Harleys and an Indian, we will have 1 Harley and 2 Indians. And I am so excited because I love the Scout, first of all. You guys know she's got my heart because I got one. And I love the Indian Motorcycle brand. And of course, I've told you earlier that I'm already looking at upgrading to an FTR for fun, and then a Chieftain for practicality and longer distances. So, yeah. Well, okay, so we talked about mods in that previous episode. So for his Scout, he is getting the comfort seat right away, which, okay, kind of jealous because I still haven't upgraded my seat. But it's okay. I'm going to get a custom seat too. He immediately ordered the new intake. And we talked about how the Scout 20 is chromed out, so he is getting it blacked out. What else did he get? Let's see. I believe he was thinking about upgrading the headlight immediately to the LED, which I 100% agree with because I love my LED headlight. And it's really great for just riding home after the sun sets. It's a huge help. And I think he's I'm pretty sure he's going to upgrade the intake because he's updating the exhaust, which you kind of have to do. It goes hand in hand for performance issues. And I think he's also looking at new wheels because he doesn't really like the wire wheels. He really likes the ones that are on my Scout. So that might be a later upgrade because that you can't order that in the package. It only comes with the wire wheels. So we might upgrade that later and have the new shoes put on then. But other than that, I think in about, 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to have 2 Scouts sitting in the driveway. So tell me your thoughts. Are you guys excited for us? I'm excited for us. Do you guys go window shopping just for fun like I do? It's kind of crazy, right? I kind of feel like a weirdo, but I don't think I am. I think a lot of people do that. They window shop. They keep their goals in mind so that they can financially get to eventually go purchase that big motorcycle or the house or whatever you have your sights set on. I think window shopping is super important for that. But I am so excited to be upgrading my Indian Motorcycle family, getting him involved. He'll be coming to our meetings, joining us on rides. It's going to be super amazing. Tell me about your motorcycle buying experience. Hit us up on the Indian Motorcycle Radio Facebook group. Let us know what was your buying experience like. You can also hit me up on Teresa Uncaged on Facebook or on Instagram or TeresaUncaged@gmail.com. Let me know what was your motorcycle buying experience like and share a picture of your motorcycle with us. Thank you for listening. And I'd like to thank my husband for letting me share his shopping experience. Ken, once again, so excited for you and your new ride. I can't wait to see what your adventures are, where they lead you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the next ride.
Check out all past episodes and new ones on BlanchardNetwork.com.